Hello, everybody. My name is Ella Shelby. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's nice to have you on board. And today we're going to be looking at Gene Hackman, the gentleman that has passed away, the actor, and his wife, Betsy. And I'm going to be doing mediumship with this one, with my power intelligence. And I'm joined by Anna, and she's going to be asking me some questions.
All right, Ella.
Mhm.
So on Feb the 26th, Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's bodies were discovered during a welfare check. His cause of death was severe heart disease with advanced Alzheimer's, listed as a contributing factor. It's been said and reported in the news outlets that he died around February the 18th, about 1 week after his wife passed. Do you believe this date to be correct?
Yes, I do believe the date is correct. I can actually see him being quite confused and very alone, not recognizing his surroundings or connecting with anything. So yeah, he couldn't even go to the fridge to get himself something to eat. I do feel that the medics corrected, sorry, the medical people got the correct date. Yes.
Oh, scary. Okay, so experts believe his Alzheimer's may have prevented him from realizing his wife of more than 30 years had passed. Do you believe that to be right?
Yes, I do, because like I was just saying, I feel he was very, very confused. He had no idea what was going on. He was at that point where he couldn't even feed himself. He couldn't even recognize the fridge. I can see him looking at the fridge and not even recognizing what it is. So,
Gosh.
yes.
So, advanced stages of confusion and grief, as you are saying. Um, They also have surmised, the news outlets and experts, that is, that he probably tried to wake her up before the Alzheimer's caused him to become distractive or too overwhelmed to do anything, which, this cycle probably had repeated for days before he passed. What do you believe happened?
I don't even feel he knew that his wife had passed away. I'm not feeling any grief when he was on the earth plane. I can see him looking at her, but not knowing what it is that he's looking at. Um, to him, that could have been anything laying on the floor. He didn't, like I was saying, he didn't even recognize the fridge. And I do feel that I can see him falling quite a lot. And also he couldn't go to the toilet. So when they did discover him, he hadn't changed, he hadn't had a shower, he soiled himself. He was a complete and utter mess.
Poor guy.
Found him.
So he died of natural causes.
Yes, he did.
Okay, well, he was 95 years of age when he passed and considered to be one of the greatest actors of his generation. His career spanned over 4 decades and he received numerous accolades, including Academy Awards and 4 Golden Globes. What was Gene Hackman like as a person?
He was a tough man. He was quite aggressive. I feel that the way he was with the public was completely the opposite when he was indoors. Um, I feel as he progressed in his career, he became full of himself, very arrogant. So what he displayed in interviews is completely the opposite to what his family saw. And I feel with his first wife, he didn't treat her very well. When they first got married, they were really in love. It was going really well until he got that glimmer of being famous. He was unfaithful. He had a difficult relationship with each of the children. He actually felt that the children were a burden. And I feel that she passed away from a broken heart. I feel that he really, really hurt her. She was quite an outgoing person, very friendly, very jovial. What you see is what you get. She was quite a bright woman and she was a very good mother.
So we understand, Ella, that the exact date of Betsy Arakawa's death was not precise, but it looks to be around the 12th of Feb. She was a pianist. Yes, tell us about her. Ah,
I feel that she actually targeted Gene Hackman. She learnt from her culture, her background, how to deal with the rough alpha male, arrogant type man. She knew exactly how to handle him. So I need to give her credit for that. But I don't feel she had this deep, great love for him. From her point of view, she liked the lifestyle and she wanted it and she got it. Yes, she did look after him, um, but I get quite a tough woman inside and it barely come out with him, but she did know how to handle him.
mm. So the 12th of Feb, Ella, do you think that's about right for her?
Right, this is not a conspiracy theory. It's actually what I can see. I feel that she actually decided to take her own life. And with what she digested, they could not detect it in the body. I don't feel she wanted to live anymore because of the disease that she had. I feel it was greatly affecting her. And she didn't really care what Gene Hackman was doing or anything else. She was just focused on herself and her deep, deep suffering. And she thought, right, I just want to end my life. And that's what she did.
Okay, so they're saying that she passed away through this pulmonary syndrome. Tell us about this disease.
Like I was saying, I feel the deep suffering and that she had. She wanted to just pass over. I feel she got it through eating food, simply from her cultural background. And it was from a restaurant, and what she digested was not very nice. The food was not as healthy as what it should have been. And that's how this whole disease started.
Yes, this disease is apparently transmitted through rodent urine or droppings or saliva. So yes, I guess the restaurant would have had bad hygiene protocol from what you're saying.
Yes, yes. And Gene Hackman had a completely different palate when it came to food. So when it come to her own food, and she was getting older, and you know, I'll just order a takeaway from a certain restaurant. And I just feel the cleanliness there was not as good as what it should have been. I don't feel she detected it through traveling, because I feel she was quite a homebody and quite a private person as she got a lot older. So it's through the diet because she loved her food. She did. And the taste in food was pretty amazing. Um, so hence I like food from that culture anyway. So of course I would say that.
So, the report is also saying that one of the couple's three dogs had been kept in a crate, and this poor dog had also died from starvation and dehydration. What can you tell us about that through your mediumship, Ella?
What I can see is the dog was actually delivered back to them. And upon being delivered, she was the one who answered the door. She was quite bright, she was quite friendly, but she was suffering greatly. And as she just consumed right into herself, as much as she loved her animals, she just went deeply within herself and thought, right, that is it. And I feel that's how the dog died, is that she passed away. Gene Hackman didn't have a clue where he was, who he was, what planet he was on. And sadly, the dog died within a crate. It couldn't get out of that crate. And it did
Hmm.
suffer greatly, very, very sadly. And that's what I can see.
So the question is, Ella, it seems really odd that Hollywood stars of this caliber didn't have any help. No cleaners, no cooks, no gardeners, nobody to walk the dogs, no family to look in on them.
But I can see cleaners there. I can. And I do see them coming in like once a month. That was her doing because she just didn't want anybody on the premises. She wanted to take care of everything. But if she needed something, she would order it in. Now, the reason no family was checking in on them, she'd fallen out with her own family. And that had happened some time ago. I can see a lot of arguments. And she decided not to have any children. She just didn't want any. Um, because she wanted to live her life to the fullness and she wanted to enjoy the lifestyle of being married to a movie star. And she didn't want to ruin her figure. And so hence not having any children. And as far as her husband was concerned, Gene, he didn't care either way because he had three children. But he destroyed his relationship with those three children. The way that he treated their mother, these children saw that and they suffered greatly because their mother never got over their father. She was the one, the first wife, who encouraged him to get out there and just keep going, even though he was constantly rejected time after time after time for every role that he went for. Um, and the children put on a brave face for their mother, and they said they had a good relationship with their father, but they didn't. They really, really struggled. And I feel a big gap as well, as if he didn't see his children. And it doesn't feel like months, it feels like years. Um, yeah, so that is the story of why they didn't have any family checking in on them.
So, I guess your conclusion through using your intellect, Ella, is no conspiracies with regards to murders or other random things, no attacks. They were both natural deaths, um, which is at least good to know. Very sad story.
Yeah, but Betsy brought on her
Hmm.
death by herself. She was mentally suffering from this horrible disease, and also internally as well. So yes, she just wanted to say goodbye. And like I said, she was quite a selfish woman, and she did know how to not just, I wouldn't say manipulate, I would say more handle Gene Hackman. And she knew how to handle people in general. She just had that knack. In essence, I feel she had a little bit of a sixth sense on when to say something and when not to say something. Um, yeah, and I feel she was a little bit spiritual as well in the way she approached things. Very interesting couple because they're completely the opposite. Completely.
It's nice to get an insight from you
Mm,
on this story, Ella. Thank you.
mm. Yeah, but not like I was saying, Anna, there was no great love coming from her. But I do feel that Jean absolutely adored her. I do feel that very much so. And he did love his first wife until he started to get that glimmer of I'm gonna be famous.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he was very unfaithful to her as well. So anyway, that is Gene Hackman and Betsy, and his three children and his ex-wife. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Until next time, take care. Bye.